Today is day 3 of Turning Point USA's America Fest as thousands celebrate Charlie Kirk's legacy. The organization seeing a massive growth in the wake of his assassination.
Today's lineup features top conservatives as well as student leaders from across the country.
And Matt Finn joins us live from Phoenix, where I was just yesterday, and he's going to tell us what's going on today. Hey, Matt.
Well, Rachel, good morning. You know, it is 4 o'clock local time here right now, so the streets are quiet. But you know, Rachel, in a couple of hours, there will be thousands of people behind me here at the Phoenix Convention Center. And, you know, this is the first America Fest without Charlie. So I spoke one-on-one with Charlie's friend and the executive producer of the Charlie Kirk Show, Andrew Colvin, about Charlie's absence. What's it like being here this year at his Super Bowl without him?
Yeah, I mean, it's surreal. It's bittersweet. The bitter part, you know, we don't have him with us, but it's also amazing to see everybody that has been so inspired by his life.
Now, Erica Kirk announced Turning Point USA will endorse Vice President J.D. Vance for president in 2028 should he decide to run. Also announcing Turning Point will be launching a new Pick Up the Mic tour and Make Heaven Crowded tour. Now, one of yesterday's speakers was Omar Shemtov, who was taken captive at the Nova Music Festival and held hostage by Hamas for more than 500 days.
This fight is between good and evil. A fight against terrorists who turn hospitals into torture chambers, schools into military bases, who murder young people at a music festival, who kill Jews because they're Jewish, and Christians because they're Christians. This evil is spreading, but when I stand here with you today, I feel strong.
Now, Turning Point says 31,000 people registered for the sold-out event this year. Last year, President Trump was here. He spoke after he was nominated, and tomorrow, Vice President J.D. Vance is scheduled to speak as well. We'll be here throughout the weekend. We'll keep you guys updated.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Matt.
All right, you guys, it was an amazing event. The numbers are astounding. I mean, look at this. There's 30,000 people expected to attend. That's up 35% just from last year. They said that I think close to 80% of those who were there are at a Turning Point USA event for the first time.
That's amazing.
And then, you know, Turning Point and Charlie Kirk has always been associated with drawing in those disaffected males, those males that were being told they were toxic and so forth. Except now, this event, they had more women than men, and so I think you're seeing the Erica effect on this. So there's a lot of interesting stuff, and then the clubs are growing. I mean, they're getting 50 new. They say 50 new clubs a day.
That's amazing.
Over 30,000, right?
Yeah.
You know what I love about it is, you know, the left spends a lot of time talking about diversity, and I don't think they actually even care about diversity. They're just, anybody who's as obsessed with race as the left is, they don't really care about diversity. What I think is so interesting about this, watching it over the last couple of days, is the diversity, not just the diversity, but the diversity of opinion.
Yes.
And it's celebrated, and you wind up with some awkward conversations, but that's what the whole point of like having diversity of opinion is about.
Yeah, as opposed to diversity of skin color. Who cares?
Whatever that is.
This is diversity of thought, and you can see that, you know, on the first night you had Erica speaking, you had Michael Knowles, you had Russell Brand, you had Tucker Carlson, you had Ben Shapiro, and Griff, when I was there for their live access show. I was hosting that. Kaylee's hosting it now that I'm here, and I talked to some of the guests that we had, including Michael Knowles, and I was like, you know, this happens in families, you know, especially after a traumatic event. There's, you know, there's differences. Got to air them out. Suppressing it, not a good idea.
Well, what I loved about it was the fact that, you know, we were seeing like the left show pushed young people away from a traditional valued lifestyle.
Yeah.
From marriage to raising children. And, you know, we've seen, I mean, this is more than 1 million young students are now involved in this. And that is a clear sign of a growing movement. And when you and Sean did this sort of fireside chat talking about really marriage, family, the importance of traditional values, that was a big takeaway. Here's a little clip of that.
It's an amazing honor to serve, and especially with this president, But my most important job is to be a good husband. My most important job is to be a good father. And so I think all the time, and Rachel and I were talking about this morning, I think about what are we doing to spend time together? Because we're really busy.
I often in my job run into a lot of young producers, especially men and women. But in particular, I end up bonding and talking to a lot of the young women because a lot of them are in the, in the dating world. These are really hardworking, hard-charging girls that are really great at their job. These young women are awesome. But I always remind them, and the men that I meet as well that are young, at the end of the day, as Sean said, your boss, this company is not going to be holding your hand when you're on your deathbed. I think you really, as a woman, need to prioritize your love life. And it's kind of the advice that a lot of, women's studies departments might, not like to hear that from me. But I think prioritizing your love life, yes, getting your education, yes, getting your career, but always knowing that, your family is the most important.
What was the reaction?
So you said it's a movement. What I felt was there's a yearning.
Yeah.
The young people out there are looking for what's the path, because as you so aptly said, they're being sold something different. And women in particular are being told that motherhood isn't fulfilling, that it's some sort of patriarchal, plot to, keep them in the house. And that marriage is not important, and to put off marriage, put off kids. And so there's a new message. I wasn't the only one with this message. There's a lot of young conservative podcasters with young children. But I think it's interesting to have an older person like me who's, got 2 grandkids and, has been through this whole thing to go, listen, I'm on the other side of it. Get married, have kids. This is what actually matters.
And accomplished. You've accomplished a lot career-wise and made it all work with 9 children.
Yeah, it's an interesting career path.
They wanted to hear